Hey guys, Fletch here. Got a little vid on the Runcam 2 HD video camera. I bought this to go with my drone. I recently got into drone flying. And I bought this. It's a great little HD video camera. Does 60 frames a second, 180p, which is pretty impressive for the price. I paid about 140 Australian for it. It works perfectly. I know some people on the RC forums have complained of a few problems with them. I tend to think it's a problem with the on-off button. Put a vid up recently of some macro work that I've been doing with it. Now that all came about from a small accident I had while flying my drone. I lost control, lost power. I think my drone MJX X600, it got caught in its own downdraft and came crashing down into water, and I thought I'd ruin the drone and the Runcam, but after turning everything off, getting home, pulling everything apart, I found everything seemed okay, put it all back together and managed to get the Runcam working again, and discovered that the lens on these are a screw-in lens, and from the factory they set the default focus at infinity, obviously for drone flying. And I found the glue, once you scrape the glue off the end of the lens where it screws in, you can screw the lens in and out, which effectively changes the focal plane. Now that's brilliant for me. I'm a macro photographer as well, so being able to have a full HD video camera to do macro photography or macro videography is brilliant. After I put the first video up of some of the shots I got, I had a lot of people asking me in detail how I did it. So I thought I'd make this vid up just to show you how to pull the camera apart and how to unscrew the lens if you choose to do that. I will say you do it at your own risk. Obviously, as soon as you undo it, you're going to void your warranty. But for 140 bucks Australian, I don't know of any other HD video camera that can do the macro that this thing can do. So yeah, let's pull him apart and I'll explain what I did to do to get the macro. Okay, let's pull this thing apart. So first thing I'll explain is the lens cover. I've already taken that off, pretty simple. Just the two screws in the bottom come out, lens cover comes off. In a way, I kind of wish I'd put that back on before my last drone crash. But you learn from your mistakes. Pretty much you got 4 screws in the base, just small Phillips head. Nice and easy to get out. Four screws. You got to pull the back, get the battery out, memory card. Now it comes apart in 2 pieces, and just gently pull. And what I found is the main board sticks to the top cover. So you got to try and hold that while you pull the plastic apart. I'll use the USB slot just to hold it, pull it out, top cover comes off. Now the rest of it, the actual lens module is set into the bottom of the plastic. I don't know if you can see it down there, you probably can't on this. But what I tend to do, there's no more screws, just get a bit of plastic or something down the side, and you can tend to lever it out. And there it goes. All comes out, there's your bottom cover. Your board with your lens still attached. You can see the lens flops around. Now to disconnect that part, it's quite easy. If you look where the ribbon cable attaches to this white bracket, there's a black bit on the back. Now that black bit, what you have to do is, you got to get under it, and it just lifts. You can see it slowly lifting up. Now that has released the pressure on the ribbon cable. So now the ribbon cable should just pull out. There it goes. So it just slots into that. There's your Runcam camera. Inside there is the CCD, the sensor, and this is your lens. Now I've already pulled this apart, and you can see what I've done. I've marked, I just had a silver permanent marker that I marked the bracket there and the front of the lens, so I knew roughly where it had to go back to get infinity focus. I've since discovered you don't really need to do that, because when you turn the camera on, you can turn the lens. Once you free up the glue, you can just turn the lens until you get the perfect focus that you want. Now what you guys are going to have to do, if you're going to go ahead with this, is when it comes from the factory, there is glue all around this section here. Hope that's coming up on the video. It's a bit hard to see. I might see if I can... So you got this soft glue in that area there. Now all I did, just small flathead screwdriver, and I just gently scraped it out, went all the way around until I'd got rid of the majority of the glue. Now, it's not a hard super glue, it's almost like a waxy, gluggy type of glue. Once you get that glue off, you just make sure you hold this without damaging the ribbon cable, and it's a matter of just unscrewing the lens. Now it turns multiple turns, probably about 20 or 30 turns. Now I had to pull mine apart originally because I had water inside, so I had a bad haze. So I had to pull it right off, which I want to do now just to show you everyone the sensor and how it just screws in. And that feels like the end. There's our lens. Just a normal thread. And hopefully you'll be able to see inside here. I'll try and get another light happening. You can see a little tiny little sensor. So by screwing the lens in and out, what you're doing is you're bringing the rear of the lens closer or further away from the sensor. And that's how you're changing the focal plane. So factory, they work out infinity, and it's, say, sits that far away, and just half a turn or a full turn is enough just to change it to what we need for if you want to do the macro. So yeah, I've bought some other lenses, hoping to try different focal length lenses. Bought them from Runcam shop. Just get them out and show you. So these are a 3.6mm focal length and a 2.8mm. Now I believe these are for their FPV cameras. Now the only problem I have with these, they screw in no problem. I get perfect focus at whatever focal length I choose. But if you look at them compared to the original Runcam 2 lens has a infrared filter on the back. I don't know if you can see it in this light, but it's got like an orangey red tinge to it. Now these two, they don't have that. They're just pretty much out of a security camera, and the Runcam FPV cameras that they are built for have a filter built into the camera, which must sit over the sensor in the other cameras. So I'm hoping to be able to get some kind of IR filter that I can glue on the back of these two lenses. So back to putting your lens back together. Pretty much just screw it straight back in. Once you get the threads lined up, you want to be careful you don't cross thread it. Slowly turn it and it will it'll go back in. Now you don't have to get it perfect now, I just get it where I roughly think it's going to be. Then it's a matter of putting it back together. And the tricky bit is this ribbon cable. They're very delicate, easy to damage. Once you get it back into its slot, like that, moved in about 3 or 4 mil then. It's just a matter of closing the clamp, just by pushing the grey bit back down. That's it. Just locked in. Then just put it back together. You can see the camera module, that square shape there, that has to fit into this section back here. That can be a bit tricky, but after a few goes at it, it seems to sit in there nice. There it is there, and I can push down, put pressure on it there to hold it in. Now, as I was saying earlier, a lot of people I've seen on the RC forums, a lot of people complaining about not being able to turn their cameras on, having numerous problems with them. I believe it's this button here, because since pulling mine apart I've been suffering some of the same problems, and I believe it's this on-off button. Somehow it's faulty, or you've got to hit the right pressure on the right point for it to actually work. And I discovered that by hooking the camera back up to the TV into the OSD menu and just gently playing with this button, and I found different angles and different pressure. I was able to get it to work the way it was meant to work. So hopefully Runcam can sort that out. So just a matter of lining it all back up, putting it back together. It just sits on top, goes down, screws back in. I wouldn't put this back on yet until you've got the camera turned back on, hooked up to your phone, so you can see live view of the screen, or you could hook it up to your TV. And it's just a matter of grabbing the end of the lens, watching it in live view, and turning it clockwise or anti-clockwise to get the focus you want. If you turn it anti-clockwise, which brings the lens out, that's going to give you the macro. Obviously don't screw it too far back in, because you're going to make it hit the sensor, which you don't want to do. So really, to do that, you're going to have to hook it up to either your phone or the TV in live view, so you can see what's happening real time. Okay, thanks for that. If anyone has any questions, just post them and I'll try to answer them. Thank you.